years ago, right?
Yep.
And you had natural
Philosophy.
the founders of science were natural
Philosophers,
philosophers, and
yes.
they would write about the mind and consciousness and the cosmogonic origin of the universe at the same time as they were writing about chemistry experiments they were doing. And now, in the 20th century, these things diverged significantly. You had the emergence of experimental science as a separate discipline, becoming very industrialized, really, and connected with engineering, which has been beneficial.
Yep.
And philosophy became very, very technical and academic, rather than being about individual thinkers, like sitting in their study trying to understand the whole universe.
Yeah.
Some guy trying to solve a very, very narrow philosophy problem that's almost as narrow as a math proof in some little corner of mathematics. And I think that's going to change. I think we're going to see a reconvergence of science and philosophy in a way, because we're going to be able to do more and more experiments related to things like consciousness and the nature of reality. I mean, when you can put a chip in your brain or fuse two brains together in some way and see how it impacts the conscious experience of those minds, you know, you're meshing together the philosophical, introspective aspect with the scientific, empirical, experimental, engineering aspect in a way that's not happening now. So we may not solve once and for all these big philosophy problems, but we may get into a different rhythm of inquiry in which incremental understanding on these philosophy problems advances alongside and all mixed up with incremental advances on the science and engineering side. So that is my guess of what will happen.
And the people working on these far corners of different, whether it be OpenCog and other various projects related to the creation of technologies, as you had mentioned, so interdisciplinary, but people working on these emerging technologies that have this potential to move us beyond human potential. Do you believe that on the aggregate, collaborating, working together, and knowing what the rest of the world is working on in this particular space is generally a good thing? I know some people are concerned, oh, what if, if we're not connected, we're not going to learn as fast, and then at the same time, if we're not connected, then someone could be working on something that maybe isn't so good, and we should tell them to stop. Do you see on the aggregate that connectedness being a positive thing for our transition forward?
Well, I mean, without it, I don't think we would make the transition forward. I think